Good evening and welcome into the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester. We've got some Super League action for you as Manchester Basketball hosts the Cardiff Met Archers. Manchester sitting in 6th place in the standings, 3 wins and 4 losses as the Cardiff Met Archers look for their first win of the season. Kaz Bullock here alongside MMU's Louis Weaver as we get ready to tip off in around 4 minutes time. So Louis, Manchester had a game against Newcastle last weekend that was unfortunately cancelled, so have had a little bit of time off. Haven't played since they played Essex a few weeks ago where they came out on top 97-88. Does having a little bit of rest help you out at this time in the season?
Yeah, for sure. Obviously at this time of the year, injuries can mount up, so time off is never a bad thing necessarily, especially you say with a good win last time out. So yeah, no, it's definitely important to get some rest and recover those injuries.
And in that game against the Essex Rebels, all 5 starters in double figures. Manchester were led by Franny Hottinger, 26 points, 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Tiana East adding in 22 points and 7 rebounds. And for the Cardiff Met Archers, it's been a bit of a difficult start to the season. Quite a lot of injuries plaguing the team. And they are quite a young team, but they're always really focused on development and really stepping up to improve the experience of players. And they played Sheffield last time out. A loss in that one, but Amelia Scharf, 15 points, and Jordan Lewis dropped 10 points. So this... it has been a bit of a tough start to the season, but there's always a lot of learning, isn't there, that comes with that? Yeah,
for sure. Obviously, you can't always win. I think having the experience for some of the younger players is going to be massive going later on into their careers. So I think this is really important for them, and hopefully it should be a good game today.
Definitely, and Cardiff, a team that have, they've been putting up the points and some new signings this season if we take a look at their roster. But Amelia Scharf, certainly a player to watch, leads a team in scoring and rebounds per game. She's coming out of the University of California in Irvine after spending 4 years playing Division I and bringing her game over to this league here when you spent 4 years in D1. That's such a... She'll be a young player herself, but she'll be able to share that experience with some of her younger teammates.
Of course. Obviously, the American game is very different to here as well, so I'm sure she had that transition period. But yeah, for the rest of the team, obviously learning from someone like her, it'd be fantastic.
And can it be a bit of an adjustment for players when they do come from other leagues or overseas? Because we know that that FIBA rules are different to American rules. Can that take a little bit of time to pick up? Yeah, of course. It's been so many times I've seen rookie Americans try and call timeouts. So obviously you can't do that here. So obviously that's a big change. But yeah, for sure. I mean, at the end of the day, basketball's basketball, so you pick it up quick. Yeah. And for Manchester Basketball, so Franny Hottinger has been having an incredible season so far for Manchester. 19.4 points per game. That's 4th in the Super League this season. 7.7 rebounds, which is 7th. She was playing in Germany last season, her first season in Manchester, and the impact that she's had on the game for Manchester. She's a player that really plays beyond her years. And how valuable is it going to be having someone like that out on the floor?
Yeah, Franny's great. I'm sure the rest of the team look up to her, and she's one of the main scoring threats on the team. So she's obviously a massive part of the team, and obviously going to be a big part of today's game too.
Definitely. So if you take a look at the starting 5s for both teams, for Manchester, it will be Irina Boado, Maya Bratka, Franny Hottinger, Vera Peertinen and Tiara East. And for the Cardiff Met Archers, Sheridan Flauger, Emma Bailey, Laura Shanahan, Jasmine Graham and Amelia Scharf. So the Archers with a bit of a shorter roster today. But then it's always that chance, isn't it? If someone's been injured, it's who's the next woman up, who's the next man up in those positions.
Of course, it's a time for players that might not play as much to kind of prove their worth and trying to break themselves into the squad on a more permanent basis. So it's definitely a good experience for them. And yeah, definitely something that they shouldn't take advantage of, so to say.
And those are the kind of times as well on a team when you're all coming together that really help build the character of the team as well, because you're all kind of playing for each other.
Of course. Obviously, with the injuries and obviously a lot of points they're missing, it's going to be difficult. But this is where we need to rally together and really try and get a good result here.
Certainly, so Cardiff looking for their first win of the season, sitting in 10th place in the standings. And they're led by head coach Steph Collins. and assistant Sever Tiberi. And Manchester led by Ollie Parr alongside Greg Mapofu. So teams coming out onto court, and it will be Cardiff in white and Manchester in red. Manchester looking to move themselves up the standings after a run of good form to start the year. Maybe took them a little bit of time to get started in the league, but had, since January, they've made it into the Cup semi-finals where they'll be playing Oakland. So is now kind of the time when you're Manchester, you want to kind of be rolling?
Yeah, I think everything's to do with timing. You want to peak at the right time. So, having this peak now, I think it'd be really important to kind of build into that semi-final and the rest of the year.
So for the tip, it will be Bratka for Manchester. And Scharf for Cardiff. Bratka with a little bit of an advantage there, height-wise, for the tip. And we'll get things underway as the first possession goes to Manchester, and it's East with the ball. Using the screen from Bratka, East stops, puts it in the basket, and a great start there for Manchester and Tiara East as they'll get the foul call and one more shot to come for East. And that's a very quick start for Manchester.
Yeah, you couldn't ask for a better start there. It's a great attack of a basket and hopefully a free throw to add to it as well.
And East is 9th in the Super League in drawn fouls per game as she hits and gives Manchester a quick 3-0 lead. So Scharf will set things up for the Archers. Shanahan. And ball's knocked out of bounds by Bratka. That's something we see Maya Bratka do a lot, just be disruptive, knock the ball out of bounds. Might not come up with a steal, but stops the play.
But those kind of efforts don't really show up in the stat sheet, but like you say, it's massive, taking time off the shot clock.
As we'll go from the sideline, it's Archer's possession. Bailey. Scharf. Back to Bailey. Scharf with 4 seconds. The Archers are going to need to put something up as Scharf loses the ball on the floor and a shot clock violation. So Manchester will have it back. And we've saw Manchester the last couple of games, Louis, they've really picked up their defense. They've been able to get some stops. They're a good high scoring team, but they've also kind of added that in as a next level around the halfway point of the season.
Of course, I mean, at the end of the day, you need to score more than the other team. And if you're not having a good scoring day, you've got to be able to stop them. So I think that's really important.
Florga to Scharf. Florga gets it back and pulls up, hits from behind the arc. And that's a great look there from Florga. And we're tied at 3-all. Bratka fakes, drives inside, in off the glass. Graham, Scharf, back to Graham. Graham has space from behind the line, and it's raining threes in Manchester.
This is a quick start for both teams. It's very up and down.
And that three-point shot, the Archers like to shoot that, so Manchester are going to need to get out to that.
For sure, for sure. Especially in today's game, defending the three-point line is a massive part of the game.
Peartonin pulls up for the long two, and Manchester go back on top by 1. Ball's knocked out of bounds by Aboado.
It's another deflection there, as you say, all these add up. Time taken off the clock, tougher shots.
It just makes it a bit disruptive, doesn't it? If you're the one team, you're setting up your offense, but then you've got to reset it again.
Exactly. It's all it's all small wins. If you can push people off positions, and as Aboado goes down the other end and scores for 2 as well.
And a great read there from Irene Aboado. Gives Manchester a 3-point lead. Graham over to Florga. 9 seconds on the clock, ball's picked up as East has Hottinger up ahead. Oh, Bailey deflects the ball. And Emma Bailey looks to answer and does! That's a big shot from Bailey, doing it on both ends of the floor.
This is a fantastic start for Cardiff.
As Hottinger blocks by Scharf, gets the ball back, but it's into the hands of Graham. Ball goes out of bounds. And we'll have a substitution for Manchester as Eva Karashaita checks in and Maya Bratka heads to the bench. And we're tied at 9-all here in the first quarter. Ball's into Scharf. And Aboado will be called for the foul. That'll be the first team foul on Manchester. And sometimes when you are going for that ball, you're such a player that's able to read the pass. That's the nature of it. You are going to pick up a few fouls like that.
Exactly. I mean, that's basketball, isn't it? Like, it's very physical. You know, unfortunately, sometimes you get caught on the wrong side.
As Hottinger, all alone, lays it in for two underneath the basket.
You see the defense from Manchester here, as we said, being very disruptive. There's a few early steals, and that's, you know, we've had a few transition layups early doors.
So maybe that week off's helped them.
Quite possibly.
Graham, 6 seconds, high arcing three, that's too strong. Ball's chased down with a hustle from Emma Bailey just after every possession as Hottinger back-to-back bucket from Franny Hottinger. And we'll have a timeout called as Manchester have a 13-9 lead. But Louis, both teams coming out really fast-paced to start with.
Exactly, it's been very up and down. Cardiff on offense just need to settle down a little bit, look after the basketball. And from that point of view, then you can slow down your transition defense and kind of get set up a bit more. So I think that's kind of a focus for head coach Steph Collins in this timeout.
Because when we've seen them, they've hit those 2 threes, and when they've got the space there, they've been able to take advantage of it.
Exactly. So you need to settle down, look after the basketball.
And for Manchester, we know they're a team that like to score, averaging 84.1 points per game in the Super League this season. They've come out really strong, 13 points, and it's been Franny Hottinger, just a couple of buckets there, 4 points, but she's always running, she's always down the floor and ready.
Exactly. I mean, especially in today's game, the easy layups is so important. You have high efficiency shots. So yeah, that's perfect for Manchester.
And Manchester, they're a team that like to run. They like to get out on the break, get those stops, and keep going. 12.3 fast break points a game for Manchester to Cardiff's 6.5. But Cardiff with 6 points from turnovers already today. That's in 3.5 minutes. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, no, impressive. I think both of those threes kind of picked up. Obviously, I think that last one in transition. So both teams need to look after the basketball for the rest of this first quarter.
So back out on the court, Florga finds Scharf. Kadiri goes all the way, and coming out at the timeout, that's exactly what you want to see if you're head coach Steph Collins.
Exactly, a nice strong take, a nice easy layup, and 2 points on the board.
Peartonen hanging in the air, that's short. As Florga will control things for the Archers. Florga, a long three, and doesn't get the roll. As East powering down the court for Manchester. And too strong on the pass, that's going to go out of bounds as the Archers get it back. Scharf. Scharf against Hottinger. Bailey. And ball's loose, picked up by Aboado. And stolen back on the other side from Florga. Has to back the ball out and reset. Shanahan. Shanahan gets the ball back. 9 seconds on the clock. And from the elbow, doesn't go. As East finds Peartonen, and a foul just by the sideline. That will be on Bailey, her first, and the second team foul on Cardiff. And we will see, coming into the game for the first time after signing with Manchester Basketball this week, Jory Davis, a really exciting player, Louis, to be part of this Manchester team. A super experienced player, has played all over Europe and was drafted in 2011 by the Indiana Fever. As Aboado doesn't get the 3 to go, but having someone of that experience on the floor, that's going to be really important for Manchester.
Yeah, especially going down into this business end of the season, having someone that's played all over the world is going to be so important heading into the business end.
Because you have someone that's on the court and can also act as a, you know, someone that's been in these situations, someone that's dealt with it, and they can kind of calm the game down a little bit, can't they?
Exactly. You know, all that experience, you know, all the big games she's played across her career, you know, it will help the team translate. So no, it's really important.
So it's a 2-point Manchester lead. Oh, what a shot from Scharf. And Amelia Scharf gets her first basket of the game in style, ties the game at 13-all. Karashaita, hands off to Pirtinen. Pirtinen to the basket. As Bailey double teamed, ball's loose. Scharf saves it. And Florger pulls up, oh, in and out. Ball's loose on the floor and Davis has it. Oboado going one-on-one as the ball is everywhere. Davis comes up with it for Manchester and finds Pirtinen under the basket, finishes with a reverse. And that's just persistent play there from Manchester.
Yeah, exactly. Great hustle. You know, another turnover here for Cardiff.
As Scharf.
There's a lovely backdoor cut there.
We've seen that a couple of times. It hasn't always come off, but it's you can see that connection. As Davis out to Karashaita, pulls up. That's too strong. Florger back to Scharf. 2 players in their first season for the Archers. As the ball's taken down by East, and East will go all the way. Oh, leaves it short.
Tough one there, just one that's just rolled around.
And that's great from Florger and Bailey, though, to follow the ball down, come up with the rebound. You don't leave East open then again.
No, exactly. You never want to give up on the play. You don't know what's going to happen.
As ball's into the corner, a save from the Archers. As Kadiri gets them another chance. And East will slow things down here for Manchester. Just under 3 minutes to play. 4-point Manchester lead. Pirtinen. Pirtinen finds a path to the basket. And Vera Pirtinen's now been able to do that a couple of times. Finds a bit of a gap that maybe Cardiff need to close down. Yeah,
exactly. Almost like a carbon copy is the last play. The handoff from Karashaita into the layup. So something for Cardiff to take into mind here.
So foul goes against Manchester. That'll be their 3rd, and that's the 2nd on Oboado. So she'll head to the bench as Nicolette Fairley comes into the game, and Fleur Gamal gets her first minutes today. So Lily Parkin in for the Archers. Alongside Louise Fisher. Graham into Shanahan. 6 seconds. Shanahan, and ball goes out of bounds. And the Archers are they're so close to that backdoor cut coming off, aren't they?
Yeah, it's a lovely look again. Unfortunately, just didn't get through that time.
As Hottinger checks in, Pirtinen heads to the bench. And can sometimes a disruption in the roster affect that? So we know there's a lot of players out with injury. But, you know, you might be used to playing with someone who plays a slightly different way, so players might be stepping up into different positions. Yeah,
exactly. Obviously, it's a bigger custom to become back accustomed with others. So for sure, it can sometimes cause some issues, some teething problems.
Just like getting used to it, isn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Graham. Fisher working against Karashaita. And good stance there from Karashaita, just not moving at all under the basket. As Fairley, oh, what a move from Nicolette Fairley. But Hottinger with the rebound and finishing underneath the basket. And Hottinger now up to 6 points for Manchester, extends the lead up to 8. Fisher. Parkin. Shanahan has it. Ball's in, and a 3-second call goes against the Archers. So that's 2 possessions there. Manchester have really held their ground defensively.
Yeah, exactly. Disruptive defense from the offset, from the pressure at half court to disrupting with switching defense, it makes it really difficult.
So substitution for the Archers as Sheridan Florger and Amelia Scharf back out onto the floor.
1 minute to go in the first quarter.
Final minute of the first quarter. Hottinger, oh again, Franny Hottinger. Up to 8 points now. As Cardiff looking to answer, Scharf. Out to the corner, Shanahan, shots up, too strong, and chased down by Hottinger. Fairley. Davis spinning, kicks it out. Karashaita thought about it, but Hottinger's there, and the 3 will go for Franny Hottinger.
Lovely extra pass there, turning down a good shot for a better shot. So,
and really quick ball movement as well.
Yes, exactly. Ended up with a wide open shot.
14 seconds in the quarter. Scharf. 8 seconds. Scharf. Oh, a tough move, gets the roll. And Amelia Scharf rewarded with a persistence at the basket there.
Yeah, definitely, very difficult shot. It helps cut down the lead to 10 here going into the second quarter.
So a 25-15 lead for Manchester over Cardiff. Manchester having been led by Franny Hottinger with 10 points and 3 rebounds. And then for Cardiff, it's been Amelia Scharf on 4 points, but spreading the scoring around. So Sheridan Florger and Emma Bailey on 3 alongside Jasmine Graham. So after that really quick start for both teams, we had the timeout around halfway through that quarter. Manchester have kind of pulled away a little bit, just gone on a bit more of a run. What do you want to see Cardiff maybe trying to adjust to here in the second quarter? Yeah,
I think looking after the basketball is going to be really important. So I think that's the main thing going into this second quarter. You see here with Cardiff with 7 turnovers in the whole quarter.
Yeah, Manchester's turning that into 6 points as well from turnovers. So, and Manchester 20 points in the paint to Cardiff's 4. And we did speak about it a little bit off air, but Cardiff are a little bit undersized compared to Manchester. Manchester are not the tallest team in the league, but Maya Bracker inside is quite an imposing presence to come up against.
Yeah, exactly. You've seen it in that first quarter there. So going inside with Eva Karashaita as well, looking to impose the physicality inside. So, and as you say, it's correlated into those points.
And for Cardiff, so when you do come up a team that maybe is a little bit slightly more advantage height-wise, do you kind of look to that outside shot, or do you just have to deal with it and go inside?
Yeah, obviously it's difficult, but obviously the start they had, their 3-point shooting was excellent, and they were still getting good looks at the end, and some of them just rattled out. So saving those 3-point shots would be massive for them.
And Amelia Scharf, 4 points personal, but it feels like she's had a real impact on the game. Someone that is playing a different role for the Archers. So she played as a guard in college, but is playing as a big here. So she's had to really adjust her game, but she seems like she's adapted very quickly.
Of course, but I think obviously having the experience of playing both helps with your playmaking. I think looking at players like Jokic in the NBA, having the size, but also the ability to distribute the balls, is so important. And for a team like Cardiff that can shoot like they can.
And because then you know where you want the ball and how you would be receiving it. That's a really great point.
Exactly.
As a Manchester possession, Hottinger, oh, she finds the path again, and Franny Hottinger has been able to do that at will in the first half.
Yeah, lovely take there, the fake handoff.
Scharf. Hands off to Kadiri. Ball's loose inside, picked up by Hottinger. That'll be a second steal of the game. Bracker.
Bit of a different look there from Cardiff, looking to double the post.
And a foul against Cardiff. Yeah, that looked like it worked really well and pushed the ball out as well.
Yeah, it makes it a lot more difficult, trying to reduce those points in the paint.
So that'll be the first foul on Florger as we see Emma Bailey check in and Florger heads to the bench. First team foul on Cardiff. So Nicolette Fairley at the free throw line, playing in her 11th season in the top flight league, returning for Manchester this year. Gets the first. And Fairley, the all-time leader in made free throws in the top flight league, goes 2 of 2 from the line. She had to make that after I said it.
Of course, of course.
So a 14-point lead for Manchester. Scharf. Florger out to Bailey. Bailey pulls up, and that's off. Ball goes out of bounds. And it'll be Manchester possession. Fairley against Florger. To Davis. Oh, great pass inside to Fairley. It's picked off, though, by Florger, who stops, thought about it. Bratka was right out to the shot. O'Sullivan, and runs into Fairley. A jump ball called, and possession arrow will go the way of Manchester. So a couple of substitutions, as Lily Parkin will come in for the Archers, and Tiara East and Irina Bodo in for Manchester. It's been a 4-0 run for Manchester this quarter. East. East goes all the way to the basket, drops in 2.
Lovely move there, using the pick and roll effectively, completely freed herself up from a Bratka screen.
Scharf swings it into the corner. And, oh, a big 3 from Lily Parkin. Gets herself onto the scoreboard. And Hottinger off to the races, as foul will be called on the shot. But again, it's Franny Hottinger just racing down the court.
Yeah, it's turning as soon as that ball's gone through the hoop. The thing is, like, what's next? Can we get a score down the other end? So racing down and she's rewarded with 2 free throws here.
And that's tough, isn't it, for Cardiff? You make the big basket, but then you kind of give up well, you haven't given up the shots in transition. You've fouled to make it more difficult. But you kind of need to get back quick.
Of course. It's a difficult one to suffer. Having such a big 3 down one end to then running down the other end, and within seconds, the opposition are on the free throw line.
As Hottinger goes 2 of 2. Cardiff looking to chip into this lead. Scharf against Hottinger. Scharf. O'Sullivan. And Bratka comes up with the ball. East. East working inside. Oh, ball taken away by Parkin. And a foul will go against Manchester. So it'll be the first foul against Manchester. Second foul on Tiara East. So East and Abodo on 2 team fouls. Is that anything to worry about too much here in the first half, Louis?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, having 2 of your guards in foul trouble. But 2's not so bad. You just need to be careful with the rest of this quarter.
As Bailey, 6 seconds. Bailey steps back. 3's too short. Bratka gets the rebound. Hottinger. Hottinger had the hot hand for Manchester with 14 points. Make it 16. And Franny Hottinger nearly up to her average here in the first half. She's been averaging 19.4 points, 16 points here in the first half.
It's an impressive start. So early in the game as well. 6 minutes left to go in the second quarter.
And she's wasted no time warming up. It's just been straight into it.
Exactly. Sometimes as a player, having those transition layups, it makes a big difference. Gets you into the game straight away. You don't have to kind of settle in, so say.
Because it just feels like the ball's going to go through the basket.
Of course, you see a few easy ones go in. Obviously, you feel a lot better about yourself immediately.
So substitution for Manchester as Maya Bratke heads to the bench and Jory Davis comes into the game. So Amelia Scharf at the foul line here for the Archers. Player that actually grew up playing football before moving on to basketball. Had a 20-point, 10-rebound game against Nottingham. And then a big 12-rebound game against London. As shot bounces out. And East will set things up for Manchester. Oh, what a read by Parkin. Comes up with a steal. And the Archers will set up. Bailey has a Boado on her. Bailey to Scharf. Scharf pulls the trigger. Not that time. And Manchester back on the attack. A Boado. And will be a step out of bounds. And it will be Archer's possession, and we will see Charlie Rowe take the floor for the first time for Manchester. And Charlie Rowe, a new signing this week alongside Jory Davis. A player that was with the Manchester Mystics program, spent some time in the States and returning to Manchester. So really exciting to see her on the court.
Of course, it's obviously always great to have players from Manchester play in Manchester. Being involved with a professional team here, it's excellent to see.
Oh, and Hottinger racing to the basket. The vision from Davis to Hottinger. And I think that just really epitomizes the basketball IQ of Jory Davis. So she's not been with the team very long at all. And her and Franny Hottinger look like they've played together for years.
Exactly, it's the experience there, like you say. Being able to see that pass and transition over the top of her head. It opens up this lead a bit more for Manchester.
So a 37-19 lead for Manchester over Cardiff. Manchester having been led by 18 points from Franny Hottinger with 4 rebounds, and leading the way for the Cardiff Met Archers. It's 5 points from Amelia Scharf and 2 rebounds. And Amelia Scharf now hitting 100 points in the Super League since the start of the season. And she's been averaging 14 points a game, but she's certainly made her mark on the league so far.
Of course. Obviously, 100 points, is no easy feat. So, really impressive.
And also for the Archers, 2 steals apiece from Sheridan Florger and Emma Bailey. And they've been able to, so 6 steals for the Archers, 9 for Manchester. But some of the defense we've seen from the Archers, especially Emma Bailey as well, she's really putting in a shift, making it difficult for her opponent to get to the basket.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a great job themselves, being disruptive, being in the passing lanes. Obviously, unfortunately, maybe haven't quite managed to turn those into baskets down the other end, but
you're kind of doing the hard work there, aren't you? And then the baskets will come.
Exactly.
So back on court, 5:18 to play in the first half. Scharf against Hottinger. Scharf, will go all the way. That was such a tough basket.
Fantastic play there, right in the middle of the traffic.
She wants another 100.
Yes.
And an offensive foul called at the other end goes against Manchester. So it will be Cardiff possession. As Evra Karashaita comes into the game, Franny Hottinger will head to the bench. And that will be the 2nd foul on Hottinger. Just under 5 to play here in the first half. Scharf to Florger. Back to Scharf. Bailey swings it round to Florger. 7 seconds on the clock. Florger stops, pulls up, doesn't drop. And what a read from Florger, who takes it and won't get the layup, but can't get it to go. But the great hustle there from Florger to come up with the steal.
Yeah, she's unfortunate there. Two just kind of rolled around the rim.
Ball's knocked. And Florga, having played nearly the full 16 minutes so far of the game, so you can see maybe a bit of tiredness come into play.
Of course, and she's been flying around as well.
She's not stopped moving.
No, exactly, been very disruptive.
As Rowe blocks by Scharf. Her Scharf doing it on both ends of the floor for the Archers. Parkin to Florga. Florga all the way to the hoop, and oh, that's just so unlucky.
Yeah, again, it's super unfortunate there. Fatigue is potentially playing a factor, like you say. 16 minutes playing at this place is very difficult.
Rowe. Rowe with 6 seconds. Aboado, and that'll be a step out of bounds. So Cardiff ball, and we'll see Fleur Gamal and Nicolette Fairley in for Manchester, and Jasmine Graham into the game for the Archers, and Sheridan Florga will get a well-deserved rest. 3 points, 3 steals, and a rebound for Florga. As the Archers look to chip into this deficit. Scharf. Scharf to Graham. 6 seconds, Graham against Davis. Off the rim. And Davis to Fairley. Karashaita bounces off the rim. Fairley with the rebound. And Nicolette Fairley had a big 7 rebound game against the Essex Rebels. She's an undersized guard, but one of the best rebounding guards that you'll see. As Rowe with space, shots too strong, and another chance for Manchester. Fairley, 5 on the clock. Fairley, 2 seconds, goes to the basket, lays it in.
It's a great take there. Extra possessions, being able to offensive rebound is so important.
It's those extra chances, isn't it? And keeping going even if the ball's not gone in.
Exactly.
As Davis forces the jump ball, it's going to stay with the Archers. And we'll see Laura Shanahan back out onto the floor. And Tiara East comes in for Manchester as Jory Davis heads to the bench. Davis with 4 assists and 2 rebounds. Making her debut for Manchester today. Scharf, hands off to Bailey. Bailey into Scharf. And Scharf has it, a short shot, gets the roll. And she's up to 9 points, leading the way for the Archers.
Yeah, she's been massive for them for the start of this first half. You see they're looking inside to go through Scharf.
And she's able to take her time as well. She can read kind of the defense, knows when to stop, and like that, nice little short jumper.
Yeah, exactly. Impressive to stay with the play there, to regain control of the basketball. And it's paid back in 2 points.
Bailey runs into Fairley. Out to Graham. Graham. And Graham puts it up, can't get it to go. East with the rebound. That's the really pesky defense of Charlie Rowe. She gets in the way, and 3 doesn't go. But Rowe, in her time in Manchester previously, and wherever she plays, she's very quick and able to just get a hand on the ball.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't necessarily always be the most spectacular block. You know, sometimes the smallest of touches is important to knock people off their balance, and as you can see there.
So Ella O'Sullivan back into the game for Cardiff. As Bailey needs some help, and ball stays with the Archers. I really like some of these matchups together. So we've got Fairley against Bailey, and Scharf against Hottinger has been a really fun matchup so far.
Definitely so.
Bailey. Shanahan. Shanahan out to Bailey in the corner, 3 short. As it goes out of bounds, it'll be Manchester possession.
And here, if you're Manchester, you're thinking of potentially a bit of a 2-for-1, making sure you end up with the ball for the last possession of a half.
East against O'Sullivan. Good hands there from O'Sullivan. Manchester kick it out to Fairley. Fairley, floater, bounces out, but East is there to clean up the glass and put the ball in the basket.
Again, another impressive offensive rebound. It's resulted in another 2 points. And most likely the last shot of a half as well.
It's Bailey, swings it round to Kadiri. Kadiri, oh, goes to the basket, but out to O'Sullivan. Doesn't get it to drop, and it will stay Archers basketball. So 9.5 seconds on the clock. Shot clock's off. Bailey, 5 seconds. Bailey against Rose, steps back, 3 won't fall. And that'll do it for the end of the first half. So a 41-23 lead for Manchester over the Cardiff Met Archers. Manchester having been led by Franny Hottinger with 18 points, shooting 88% from the field, 8 of 9, has 2 steals and 4 rebounds. And for the Archers, Amelia Scharf, 9 points, 2 blocks and 3 rebounds. So some work for the Archers to do coming into the third quarter. But they seem like they've, obviously they're down and they have to chip into it, but they seem like they've been moving the ball really well and they've been getting some good looks. They haven't always dropped, but they're getting into those positions.
Exactly, you know, they're only a couple, 3-pointers away from turning the game on its head again. You know, a few rattled out towards the end and, just been a bit unfortunate.
And for Manchester, they've come out really strong in the second quarter as well, a 16-8 run in that second quarter. They did put up 25 in the first, though, so Cardiff have been able to counter that offense a little bit.
Yes, exactly. That disruptive defense, forcing those turnovers, it's managed to hold them back and, keep them in the game.
And obviously, Franny Hottinger has had the hot hand for Manchester, as she tends to do in most games. But she's so impressive. She's just running the floor. And as we said, she's out on the break, been able to get those. But when she stops and pulls up, she can get that as well.
Exactly. A lot of levels to her game. And as you've seen so far with the impressive 88% shooting, it's been really important for Manchester.
And Manchester as a team shooting 58% from the field, having only hit 1 3, a little bit unusual for Manchester, as we know they're a team that like to make that. And for the Archers, they've made 4 made threes so far, so edging that battle a little bit.
Yeah, of course. As we kind of mentioned before, with Manchester looking to go inside and play with their physicality, which has resulted to their points in the paint.
So we're going to take a quick break for half-time, but we'll be back with you in around 10 minutes' time. Welcome back in to the National Basketball Performance Centre here in Manchester as we get ready for the second half between Manchester Basketball and the Cardiff Met Archers. Manchester with a 41-23 lead as we head into the third quarter, and they've been led by 18 points from Franny Hottinger, and Cardiff having been led by Amelia Scharf, 9 points and 3 rebounds for the Archers. So Louis, the Archers are looking for their first win this season. Manchester have been rolling a little bit in the league, but for Cardiff, we've seen there's so much potential out there on the floor. Yeah, very promising. You can tell they're a great three-point shooting team. Obviously, today hasn't necessarily been their day so far, having a few rattled out. But as we said, it's a team that is gaining experience and to be reckoned with in the future. Absolutely, and led by head coach Steph Collins in her 12th season as head coach of Cardiff. Obviously a player that played for Cardiff and Ronda Rebels, and the GB's most capped player. She's an absolute legend down there on the floor, and I just imagine as a young player, even as an older player, you could learn so much from her. Yeah, exactly. Having that kind of experience to learn from as a younger player is invaluable. I was fortunate enough to have something similar with Callum Jones last year, and to learn from Callum and his experiences as having a long career. It's so invaluable as a young player. And when you have a player like that, like Callum Jones, obviously a Manchester legend, are there just little bits to the game that they see differently? Of course, and even just the experiences. They've been there and been in your shoes before, so just hearing what they have to say and kind of learn from their experience, it's massive, let alone just the basketball side of things. So a quick basket there for East, and Scharf looks to answer, doesn't get it to go, but gets her own rebound, and Bailey's there. Shot rolls off the rim. Emma Bailey, if you see the ball, Luke, she's always there. As Bracker lays in 2 for Manchester. Emma Bailey, literally, she sees the ball and she says, I'm having that. Yeah, she's been everywhere as well this first half. Scharf, hands off to Florger. Bailey. Kadiri. Kadiri against Hottinger, stepping through, too strong. And Manchester have the ball. And a long pass up ahead. Bracker can't save it inside. Manchester's pushing the pace here early. Some quick breaks. Obviously that one unfortunately resulted in a turnover, but... And East can't say... Oh, did she run into the... I think she ran into the bench. It'll be Archer's ball, but you can, just as you said, and the pressure they're putting, Manchester are putting them really high up. So it will be Archer's ball.
Referee's just going to discuss how long to be put on the shot clock.
And we'll add some time back onto the shot clock. Scharf to Bailey. Back to Scharf. There she is using her guard skills. Yeah, it's so important to see these passes as well. Having that bigger frame, it helps you see over the top of defenses or be able to make passes guards can't. So. And as a defender, when you're coming up against her, someone that can play both those positions, can that be quite difficult to come up against? Especially for her presence inside having to help off your person or your player a little bit more. You can be so easily punished. As she pulls up threes off the rim, and Abodo back down the court for Manchester. Abodo into Bracker. Bracker goes baseline, reverses short, but she'll get the whistle on the play, and Maya Bracker will go to the foul line. And we've not had, I was just thinking, it didn't feel like we'd had many free throws. Manchester currently 5 of 5, and the Archers 1 of 2. So it's been quite a fast-paced, not stopping game. Yeah, exactly. And I think that's helped for both teams, obviously not being in too much foul trouble. So Bracker gets the first. Maya Bracker, joint 3rd in blocks per game in the Super League this season. Has had 3 double-doubles so far and 3 23-point games. As she goes 2 of 2 from the line. Scharf. And Shanahan, threes up and in! And there's that 3-point shooting for Cardiff. And Cardiff get themselves on the scoreboard this quarter. Pearton in, looks for a path to the basket, lays it in for 2.
Lovely take there, turning the corner, getting into the paint again.
Such a quick player as well, is Pearton in.
Yeah, exactly.
As Hottinger comes up with a steal and goes all the way to the hoop. And she's up to 20 points personal here in the 3rd quarter as a timeout called by Steph Collins and the Archers as they want to talk it over. So Manchester with a quick 6-3 run this quarter in just the last 2.5 minutes or so. But that 3-point shot, Laura Shanahan hitting from outside, that's the look we know the Archers like.
Exactly. Obviously, the ball movement as well has been fantastic. And obviously being repaid on that possession with a 3-pointer.
And for Manchester, they've come out firing here after the halftime break.
Again, just that quick play, even getting scored on, trying to get down the other end and finding a good look.
And Manchester, a team that have been averaging just over 80 points a game, up to 51 here in the 3rd quarter. It was a slightly lower score in second. Manchester putting up 25 in the first, 16 in the second, but up to 8 now in 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, obviously well on target for our average for the game. Hottinger obviously making a big difference to that with a 20 points personal.
And that's huge, and 20 points already through 3 quarters. She's been averaging 19 a game, so well on her way to surpassing that.
Definitely. As we've kind of said before, a lot of them have been easy baskets as well in transition, in and around the basket too.
Yeah, and shooting 9 of 10 from the floor. That's really impressive. 90% from Hottinger, along with 6 rebounds. So teams back out onto court. 7:36 to play in the 3rd quarter. Cardiff looking to chip into this lead.
We've got a trapping zone press here from Manchester.
Shanahan, Scharf calling for it inside. Gets the ball, has Hottinger. Scharf stops, spins, and ball will go out of bounds. And that's Franny Hottinger making it really difficult there as she's standing in the way, essentially.
Yeah, Cardiff did a great job there to beat the press down the floor, which could have caused some problems. But Hottinger came up trumps at the end there.
As Aboado all the way to the basket, doesn't get the roll. Bracker's there and puts it back in the hoop.
There's that size advantage again for Manchester. Extra possessions, extra baskets.
Shanahan calling for a screen. Gets the ball back. And runs into traffic, has to pass out of it. Florger's there, shots in and out. As Aboado gets the roll, it eventually drops in. Florger's had some really good looks. I feel like she's just been really unfortunate with the spin on the basket today.
Yeah, it's obviously minute differences, ball rolling in and out.
As ball's loose on the floor, East picks it up. East stops, finds Aboado, too strong, but gets her own rebound. And ball's tipped out of bounds, will stay Manchester possession. And we'll see Eva Karashaita come into the game. Maya Bratka heads to the bench. And Jasmine Graham and Lily Parkin in for the Archers. Hottinger going baseline, out to East, threes up, too much on it. And Bailey grabs the rebound as Manchester called for the foul. It'll be the 2nd team foul.
Smart play there from Bailey, just looking after the basketball, slowing the possession down.
Emma Bailey playing some basketball for the D2 Archers as well this season. So playing a lot of basketball over the course of the season. As Florger. Ball's taken away by East. East over to Aboado, gets the bounce. And Aboado takes herself up to 6 points. That was a great decision from East as well. So her trailing teammate passes over.
Exactly, it's that relentless transition offense for Manchester. Open up this game a little bit more.
Florger. Scharf stops. Oh, what a move from Scharf. And she's into double figures. East has Bailey on her. Abodo. Hottinger with space, long two. Off the front of the rim, and Scharf grabs her 5th rebound of the game. Pass inside is broken up by Hottinger. And Manchester really playing with pace here as East scoops it up and in. And an 18-point run in the 3rd for Manchester. Scharf back to Florger. Bailey. And a whistle on the floor. So that'll be the 3rd team foul against Manchester. That's foul number 3 on Abodo. And we'll see Louise Fisher check in for the Archers. Sheridan Florger heads to the bench. And for Manchester, Nicolette Fairley Fleur-Gamal out onto the floor alongside Jory Davis. Cardiff will inbound. Scharf. Scharf, great footwork to the basket, gets the whistle, and Amelia Scharf will go to the foul line.
Yeah, strong physical move there. She's rewarded with a chance to gain 2 points at the line.
And she's really working, isn't she, Scharf, today?
Yeah, no, definitely so. Been a big presence for this Cardiff team.
So Scharf shooting 78.6% from the free throw line this season. Gets the first. She's up to 12 points personal. Been averaging 5.4 defensive rebounds a game this season, which is good for 9th in the league. Goes 1 of 2 from the line. Takes Cardiff up to 6 points this quarter. Davis into Fairley, out to Karashaita. Karashaita, too strong, and a big rebound there from Graham. As ball's loose, Bailey picks it up. Ball's knocked away, Gamal. Gamal has it, and Gamal will take it. Hottinger's there for the rebound, but a whistle on the play, so 2 shots to come for Fleur Gamal. And that'll be the 2nd team foul on Cardiff. So Fleur Gamal at the foul line for Manchester. Gamal playing in her 1st season for Manchester, was with the Caledonia Blues last season. Was named the Under-18 Women's SBC Playoff MVP. Playing in the final against the Boroma Blaze. A big 24.17 rebound double-double in the final, as she doesn't get the free throw to go. Ball's knocked out of bounds. We got a front row seat to Nicolette Fairley knocking that out of bounds, protesting.
Protesting her innocence there.
Scharf. Graham. Back into Scharf. 8 seconds on the clock. Scharf, oh. Shot doesn't drop. Great little jab step as she led into that, as Hottinger kicks it out to Karashaita. Fairley back into Hottinger. Hottinger working around 2 defenders. Doesn't drop, and Cardiff making a stand on defense. Bailey, round to Parkin. Graham. 6 seconds on the clock. Graham pressured by Gamal. Parkin. 2 seconds. Cardiff will need to put something up here. Parkin won't get it to go. And Manchester will have the ball. And we'll see Sheridan Florger back into the game for the Archers. And for Manchester, Maya Bracker comes in as Franny Hottinger takes a seat. So 2:45 to play here in the third quarter. Fairley setting things up. Davis. Davis, oh, blocked by Graham. That's a huge block from Graham. As she hands off to Scharf. Florger, a long three off the back of the rim. And ball is gonna stay with the Archers.
It's another good look there for Cardiff. Obviously love the free ball. Just unfortunately hit the back of the rim. We get another chance here to add to the scoreboard.
Cardiff up to 6 points this quarter at 8 in the second. As Scharf hands back to Florger. Florger swings it round to Graham. Graham looking to go inside, fades away, too much on it. As Bracker outside, splashes it in for three. And when you have a big like Maya Bracker, she's as deadly from outside as she is inside. That makes her really dangerous to come up against.
Of course, it's a difficult coverage. Whether you start switching on the screens when you get punished inside, it's a very difficult cover.
As Davis, oh, what a pass over to Bracker! Jory Davis with a showtime play.
She's racking up her assists here.
She's been fantastic off the bench. 5 assists for Davis in her debut for Manchester. Florger. Scharf. Out to Fisher, that's good! And Louise Fisher with a big three for the Archers. Gets herself onto the scoreboard. Final minute of the third, Davis. Davis pulls up for the long two off the rim, but Bracker's there for the rebound and gets the whistle. And something we see Maya Bracker do really well, Louis, she's got a really long reach, and when she pulls the ball down, she's really able to protect it. So when someone's going in, she tends to draw the foul.
Yeah, you can see there, she almost grabbed it with one arm there, just holding off the defender at the same time. So important, looking after the basketball.
Because if you've not got it secure, someone can knock it away, you can get the steal.
Exactly, and just being able to finish through the contact as well, like giving yourself the opportunities for and ones.
She gets the first. Bracker averaging 11.3 rebounds over the last 3 games for Manchester, up to 5 rebounds here today as she goes 2 of 2 from the line. Manchester up to 67. 43 seconds to play in the third. Florger to Graham. 8 seconds on the clock for Cardiff. Ball's knocked away. Last touch Manchester. So with 5 seconds on the shot clock, the Archers will be able to get something off here.
Again, disruptive defense with the hard hedge and being in the passing lanes, knocking balls away.
Graham to Florger. 2 seconds. Florger, a deep three. Doesn't go. As Davis over to Bracker. Bracker with another bucket for Manchester. And Maya Bracker up to 15 points and 5 rebounds.
It's impressive when you're big, can run down the floor as quick as Maya as well.
She just does a bit of everything for Manchester.
Exactly, it opens up the game so much.
Florger, and 3 free throws to come here for Sheridan Florger. Draws the foul on the shot. And Florger, we mentioned her in the first half, but she's just been working non-stop, Louis, just running all over the floor.
Yes, she must be so tired. I think she gets her rest now at the free throw line.
Playing in her first season for the Archers, was playing Division II for the University of Wisconsin Parkside last year, where she led the team in assists. Gets the second. Had a big 17-point game and a game winner against Grand Valley State. last year as the ball's in, and that'll do it for the end of the third quarter. 69-34, Manchester leading over the Archers. And for the Archers, they're putting up 11 points in the third quarter. So improved on the second quarter, didn't quite match the total in the first, but that's, as a team, that's what you want to see, isn't it? You want to be able to improve on the last quarter.
Exactly. You know, after first half, obviously building into this third quarter was going to be big for them. So, the improved offensive output is important, and obviously it's just better to keep improving on this into the fourth quarter.
So leading the way for the Archers is Amelia Scharf, 12 points and 5 rebounds, along with 2 blocks and a steal. And for Manchester basketball, 20 points from Franny Hottinger, along with 8 rebounds and 4 steals in just 20 minutes for Hottinger. Also for Manchester, Maya Bracker having a really big game, 17 points and 5 rebounds, 85% from the field. And Bracker, in her first season for Manchester, again, another experienced player out there on the floor, but she's really brought a presence to the team, especially in that inside game.
Yes, for sure. And you've seen that in this game so far, with the 2 forward players for Manchester having 20 and 17, big presence inside, and the points from the paint as well being 52.
Yeah, that's huge.
It is huge.
And Manchester still with 1 made 3, so they are certainly taking advantage of the mismatches they might have. Cardiff hitting 6 of 6 from behind the 3-point line, only 10 points in the paint, which, slightly above their average at this point. They've been averaging 25.5 points a game, but averaging 5 made 3s a game. So they've been able to find other ways to score.
Exactly. I think that's important, having that diversity, finding, if something's not working, what else can you go to?
Manchester basketball lead by 35.
And for Cardiff, we did mention it, a few players out with injury, not available today. And we've got to give a shout out to Charlotte Devereaux with the team, would be playing in her second season with the Archers. Picked up an injury at the start of the season, but a really exciting young player to watch, and sending her lots of good vibes and hoping to see her out on court soon. So ball's in, and it's Archers' possession. Florger. Scharf, 3's up and in, and what a start there to the fourth quarter. Cardiff with 7 made 3s today. Scharf now up to 15 points. East. Peartonen. Out to Rowe. Rowe, 3 is good from outside, and Charlie Rowe will get her first points in a Manchester basketball jersey.
Again, great ball movement down that end as well. The extra passes and a wide open 3.
As the Archers look to answer, Florger has space. Off the rim, Hottinger grabs the rebound. Oboado takes it, draws the foul. So that'll be the first foul against Cardiff as Irene Oboado heads to the line.
Foul is called on number 4, Sharon Florger, third personal, first team foul of the quarter.
So Irene Oboado, averaging 12.1 points a game this season for Manchester, is 8th in the Super League in assists per game with 4.4. It's the first free throw. We'll be heading over to Boston College to start next season, and that's a huge achievement for her.
Yes, definitely, and I'm sure she's cherished this year, being able to learn from players that have been there before. So definitely, playing NCAA Division I is a massive achievement, and for a college like Boston College as well, where last year's Mackay Ashton Langford actually heralded from. So.
Yeah. It produces just fantastic players, doesn't it?
Definitely so.
As Hottinger has the ball, it's loose on the floor, picks it up, gets it to Peartonen. It's short, but Oboado's there and gets the bounce. And Irene Oboado now up to 10 points. And Oboado making that step up from Division I last year to the Super League. She's really taken no time to find her feet.
No, she's had a fantastic year at Manchester.
As East read the pass and lays it in for 2. Scharf. Scharf against Hottinger and gets the whistle, and Amelia Scharf will go to the free throw line. And Scharf, that's her 4th foul that she's been able to draw.
Yeah, it was a lovely up and under move. Again, we spoke earlier about her physicality inside. It's been really important.
Scharf with 15 points today, doesn't get the first. Has 5 rebounds and 2 assists along with her 2 blocks. As gets the second. She's up to 16. 15 plus 1 is 16, isn't it? Yeah. Some quick maths there for me. Pearton in. And a travel called, so Archers will have it back. Scharf. To Shanahan. Shanahan in her 11th season for the Archers, passing inside to Scharf. Oh, what a finish at the basket. And Amelia Scharf is rolling here in the second half. East. Kadiri picks up the ball. A good read from Kadiri into Scharf. As the ball goes out of bounds, and a foul on the play, so that's a 2nd team foul on Manchester. And that'll be the 4th on Aboado. As the Archers look to inbound. Scharf back to Florger. Florger turns and shoots. Doesn't get it to go. As Aboado picks up the rebound. East. Aboado has space for 3 and nets it. Irene Aboado from outside. And one of the most impressive things we've seen about Irene Aboado is every single offseason she works on a part of a game, and it looks to be the 3-point shot she's worked on last summer.
Yeah, obviously, again, such a fundamental part of today's game, especially as a guard being able to spread the floor. As Manchester going down the other end.
And another 2 for Hottinger takes her up to 22 points as Cardiff won a timeout. And Manchester take themselves up to 83 points here in the 4th quarter, 6:40 to play. And Louis, tomorrow we've got the trophy final in Birmingham at the Utilita Arena. Sheffield Hatters and the Caledonia Gladiators going at it at 12 o'clock tomorrow. It's always a great display of basketball, isn't it, at the trophy finals? Yes,
definitely. So obviously some big teams, obviously the Hatters and the Caledonia playing, and followed by the men's game. We've got Newcastle versus London. Going to be 2 good games, and it'll be exciting to see who wins.
Definitely, and we've got a dunk contest in between them as well.
Yes.
So that's going to be fun. That's going to be fun. So you can get your tickets now. Go to Super League Basketball M or Super League Basketball W. Get down to Birmingham tomorrow and watch some of the top teams fighting it out for the first piece of silverware this season. And then coming up in March, we've got the Cup finals right here in Manchester. How big is that for the city?
Yeah, having obviously the Cup finals, massive, having at the AO, and be really exciting for the whole city. So yeah, no, definitely exciting. And obviously that's followed by the playoff finals at the end of the year. So
at the O2 Arena.
At the O2 Arena.
Yeah, and both Manchester men's and women's teams in the semi-finals of the Cup, so potentially a chance to make it the road to home. They'll be playing on the weekend of the 13th of February.
Being able to win silverware is so important, but being able to do it in your own city as well is massive, having that home support.
That'd be pretty special, wouldn't it?
For sure.
So back on the floor, just over 6 minutes to play. Scharf with space. Not that time. That's a great look, though, for Scharf from how she's been scoring today. Fairley into Bratka. Bratka to the basket. And Maya Bratka works so hard backing down a defender.
Yeah, the deep silver was important. Cardiff sent a double, but they were a bit too late.
Oh, what a basket! Florger with a circus shot, gets the ball to drop. And a well-deserved drop there for Florga, because she's had some shots that have just been so unlucky to pop out, but looked like she hung in the air before flinging it in. Not flinging it, she had a very accurate shot. So I don't want to do her a disservice.
No, she's worked terribly hard today, and to be repaid like that.
As she finishes the three-point play, and Florga up to 8 points here in the fourth quarter. Florga with 3 steals along with those 8 points. Peartonen. Fairley has it. And draws the foul. So blocking foul called on the floor. That's just the second for Cardiff this quarter.
Second personal, second team foul. That was called on the floor.
So Fairley will inbound. Ball's into Rowe. Rowe. Ball's knocked away. I think that was Emma Bailey getting a hand on it.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. She's been everywhere this game.
Kadiri. Florga back to Shanahan. And ball is going to go out of bounds, not able to keep it inside the lines. As a substitution for Manchester, we'll see Fleur Gamal and Eva Karashaita onto the floor. And Vera Peartonen and Maya Bratka head to the bench. Bratka with 19 points and 5 rebounds. Bratka shooting 87% from the floor, 7 of 8. As Fairley has Bailey on her. Davis. Davis goes to the basket, hangs in the air, too strong. Picked up by Kadiri. And it'll be Manchester possession.
Lovely crossover there by Davis. Managed to shake her defender off. Just unfortunate with her roll on the hoop.
As Lily Parkin comes back out onto the floor for Cardiff. Rowe will inbound for Manchester. Fairley. Fairley against Shanahan, over to Rowe. Davis. Davis swings it back out to Karashaita, and Eva Karashaita on fire from the corner.
Lovely pass there, recognising she drew 2. Finding an open Eva Karashaita in the corner.
7 assists now for Davis. As Scharf looks to go inside, kicks it out, that's too strong. And Davis has such a good read of the game. Like you said, Karashaita's open in the corner, she kicks the ball out, no, she draws the double team, but 7 assists, and she's really built those connections early on with her team.
Yeah, definitely. It's, very impressive for her first game within the team. It looks like she's been here the longest out of everyone.
Rowe, Fairley. Fairley going inside, takes it all the way to the rack. And Fairley takes herself up to 6 points. Florga. Florga floats it up and will get herself back to the free throw line. And that's the 3rd team foul on Manchester. That'll be the first on Fairley. So 2 free throws for Florga. And gets the first. And in that big game against Grand Valley State last season, she hit a turnaround jumper, 1 second left last February, and gave Grand Valley their first loss of the season, the first time Parkside University had beaten a top-ranked team, and that was it's a huge accomplishment, isn't it? It's so competitive in the States, in D1 and D2.
Yeah, I mean, having a game winner, at any point is amazing. It's such a great feeling, but being able to knock down it against a team that's ranked and that hasn't lost yet, I bet that kind of felt like she was over the moon.
Yeah. There's a great interview with her after the game, and she's definitely over the moon.
Yeah.
Scharf. Working against Gamal, gets the whistle. And that'll put Manchester on 5 team fouls. So Manchester will be in the bonus now for the last 3:35 of the fourth quarter. And Amelia Scharf gets herself back to the free throw line. She's made 3 of 6 today. Up to 18 points, along with 6 rebounds and 2 assists. As she gets the first, up to 19. And make it 20. Ties her high against Nottingham earlier this season. Fairley to Davis. Davis spins, hangs in the air, oh, gets it to go! And Jory Davis with her first points for Manchester basketball. And everyone out on the floor for Manchester on the score sheet today.
I mean, it's impressive as well. We've got 5 players in double digits there as well. The scoring's been shared amongst the whole team.
As ball goes out of bounds, will stay with Manchester. And that's a really good sign for Manchester as well, isn't it? Having added in 2 new players to the roster, everyone getting involved today. And 4 players in double figures, that's huge.
Yeah, definitely so. Makes you a real danger as a team where you don't know where the scoring's going to come from.
As Gamal with a long 3, not that time. And to score in different ways as well. If you can get inside, you can go outside. Again, it's difficult to stop, isn't it, when a team doesn't play one sort of too focused on one way.
Exactly, having that adaptability and diversity to score.
So substitution for the Archers, Emma Bailey will come in. And Sheridan Flogger will head to the bench. Flogger with 10 points for the Archers. And Flogger hitting 100 points in the Super League as well earlier in this game. So Flogger and Scharf both with 100 points this season. And we said before, you know, that's a huge achievement.
Definitely so, and she's got a well-deserved rest now. She's had a good game. She's been everywhere for Cardiff.
As ball's picked up by Manchester. Rowe. Kicks it out. Karashaisa's shot off the back iron. O'Sullivan grabs the rebound. Ball's saved in by Charlie Rowe, and Gamal racing to the basket. Adds in 2 more for Manchester. Ball's stolen away by Fairley. Davis, all the way to the basket, count it, and the foul. Jory Davis, a chance for an and one opportunity. And a bit of a backwards roll.
That was quite impressive.
So Davis at the free throw line for Manchester. Played in Spain last season, and getting that Euro Cup experience while she played in Spain, obviously playing at very high levels in her international career. As free throw spins out. A bit of confusion on the end line there.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure what happened.
It looked like quite a strong box out.
Yeah,
to me.
it was. There was bodies everywhere.
Yeah. And decision on the floor is it will be Cardiff ball. So the Archers will set up. Final 2 minutes of the fourth quarter. Jasmine Graham will inbound.
Manchester still here with a press. You know, it's relentless, looking to keep adding to their score in this last 2 minutes of the game.
The game clock will be reset to 1 minute and 59 seconds.
And when you're in situations like this, Louis, obviously Manchester have quite a hefty lead here, but there's so much you can learn from in-game situations that you can't replicate in practice. So is there sometimes now a chance for coaches to try something out?
Of course, and as a player as well, just having more reps, like you say, you can never replicate the same in training, so having the reps in the game is still so important.
There's 4 seconds on the clock for the Archers. Ball's knocked out of bounds by Fairley, and it will give Cardiff 2.9 seconds. O'Sullivan, ball's in, and it will be last touch for the Archers, so Manchester will have it back. Manchester now with all 5 starters in double figures. It's back-to-back games they've done that in. And Nicolette Fairley will get the ball over the halfway line. Fairley to Rowe. Rowe working against Bailey, floats it up, won't drop. Ball's going to go Cardiff's way. Graham in her first season for the Archers, playing Division 1 for Loughborough last year. Controls things for the Cardiff. Parkin. Bailey keeps the ball alive, 4 seconds. Bailey stepping through, doesn't get the roll, but Fisher gets another chance on offense. As an out of bounds call puts the ball back with Manchester. Emma Bailey has been absolutely relentless, going after every single possession for Cardiff. 2 rebounds, an assist and 3 points, but has just done so much work off the ball.
Yeah, sometimes the stat sheet doesn't, show the whole game. She's been so impactful for this Cardiff team.
Final minute of the 4th, and Cardiff called for the foul, as that'll be the 4th team foul on Cardiff, so Manchester take it from the sideline. That'll be Rowe to inbound. Ball's into Fairley. Fairley round to Rowe, 3, a high arcing shot, spins off the rim, but Karishita gets the offensive rebound. Rowe over to Gamal in the corner, 3, drops in!
Lovely basketball there for Manchester, an extra possession.
And Gamal up to 6 points, as there's a 1 second difference between the shot and game clock here. Bailey. Graham has it, 4 seconds. Ball's picked off by Gamal. Gamal racing to the basket, goes all the way. And what an end to the 4th quarter for Fleur Gamal and Manchester, as Gamal takes herself up to 8 points personal. And Manchester come out on top, 101-47. What a way to get your 100th point. Well, not the team's 100th point.
Exactly. It kind of summarised Manchester's game today. Looking to play a lot in transition, easy baskets around the rim, and they're rewarded with a nice victory here at home.
And Manchester led by Franny Hottinger, 22 points, along with 9 rebounds and 5 steals, along with 2 blocks, and then 19 points from Maya Bracker and 5 rebounds and 2 steals. All starting 5 players? All players from the starting 5 in double figures.
Yeah.
I don't know why I found that difficult to say. Again, a really big achievement for Manchester, and everyone getting out onto the score sheet. And for the Cardiff Met Archers, Amelia Scharf leading the way with 20 points, 7 rebounds and 2 blocks. And then Sheridan Florger, 10 points, 2 assists and 3 rebounds. And Cardiff, they'll still look for their first win as they go ahead into the next game of the season. They'll be playing Newcastle Eagles on February the 7th at home. But as we said, a lot of potential, a lot of positives for them to take out of this game.
Yeah, definitely. They'll keep learning, they'll keep progressing. And as you say, they're looking to get their first win of the year.
And for Manchester, back-to-back wins now against the Essex Rebels and the Cardiff Met Archers. They play the Oaklands Wolves next weekend away in Oaklands, which is a preview of that semi-final game in the Cup. That's going to be an interesting one.
Definitely so. It's going to be a big game, obviously, for them to to kind of see what their opponents and what we're going to be doing. But you want to try and hold some cards close to your chest and not show all your advantages close to that semi-final either.
And for Manchester, they came out really strong there to start the game. A huge 70 points in the paint for them, and hitting 4 threes. Maybe not as many threes as we're used to seeing them do, but they clearly adapted their game to take advantage of what they could do inside.
Yeah, there must have been the game plan going into the game, looking to play fast and, you know, looking for the points in the paint, utilising their physical advantage over a slightly undersized Cardiff team.
And for Cardiff, 7 made threes. We saw them start to fall. That's above their average, getting some really good looks. And this is a team that's just going to keep getting better as the season goes along.
Definitely so. Obviously very promising with the 7 made threes. Obviously something to build off into next game.
So next weekend, Manchester playing the Oaklands Wolves away in Oaklands. Cardiff will be hosting the Newcastle Eagles. And then Manchester will be back here at the National Basketball Performance Centre on the 15th of February at 6 o'clock in that Cup semi-final against the Oaklands Wolves. So the final score from here in Manchester, oh, the score's changed. It's gone down to 100. So the final score is 100, not 101, to 47 for Manchester Basketball over the Cardiff Met Archers. From myself, Kaz Bullock, and from Louis Weaver, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon.